Hi, welcome to Knits Up. I'm Mindy, your hostess, coming to you from the Syracuse, New York area. You can find show notes over at knitsup.libsyn.com. You can also find past audio and video podcasts episodes of mine over there. This week's going to be a relatively short one because I haven't had a whole lot of time to work on stuff. And when I have been working on stuff, it's kind of a mixture of knitting and spinning. I do have one finished object. I'm going to call it finished, although I do still have to felt it. This is a bag. It looks very floppy and huge now because of it was done on a size 10.5 needle. So this is, I think that's a 5 point, no, it's bigger than that. Anyways, it's a US size 10.5. You can look, I've got to set up a project for this, but it's so old that I decided to use it up. One of the places that I had liked in Syracuse was the Knitting Connection, which was a yarn shop that went out of business a couple of years ago. And they had a kit on sale, which is this one. Although I didn't do the vertical stripes on this. This is a kit by Knit 1 Crochet 2, and the design is by Helene Rush. It's called Mad About Plaid, but basically what you do is there's 2 skeins of the paint box yarn, and then there's one, I think it's of truffles maybe, which is, they're both worsted weight, but the paint box has graduated color in it. It goes from like the purple down to this, down to that. And you make one long piece and alternate between large stripes of one and the smaller stripes of the other. I used a different yarn just for part of the handle because I wanted to use some of that up, and I wanted the handle kind of light colored rather than dark colored. I did put one little patch of the truffles on it just to tie it all together. So that's going to be, it's a messenger style bag, and then it buttons. There's a little button that I'll put on the flap. So I thought that'd be cute for a Christmas present or knitting bag or whatever. We got to figure out how to felt that because it is, I have a top loading washing machine now with low water and no agitator in the middle. It's one of the newer ones. So that's kind of cool. This one is a work in progress, which is one of the goals I had was to use up yarn and patterns and things I bought at Rhinebeck for the past 2 years. I didn't go this year, but in 2011, 2012, things that I bought. One of the things I bought was this. And that's pretty true in color. It's kind of a coral and pink, and then there's some green in there. This is Siren Song by Fiber Optic Yarns. It's, I believe it's wool and sea cell, but I'd have to double check that. And this, it's going to be a shawl, a very small shawl actually. And the shawl pattern is, if I look this up on my phone real quick, is by Maggie Magali. It's called the Ginkgo Shoulderette Shawl. So basically it's stockinette all the way down, and then there's like ginkgo flowers on the outside. So Fiber Optic Siren Song is a light fingering weight, and it's 70% merino, 30% plant fiber. I believe that it's sea cell, so it's basically seaweed and wool, but it's kind of neat. It's very, very soft. The colors are really subtle. There's some slight striping, but it's not anything out, crazy or anything. So I thought that'd be cute, and I want to use it up. It's 330 yards, so that's why I had to choose a smaller shawl to make it out of. It was either that or like a dress scarf kind of thing, and I don't really wear scarves like that, so I thought this would be kind of cute. And again, can always give it away as a Christmas present. let's see, what else have I been working on? I've been working on, or did a few rounds on this. This is the Patton's Croy sock. Not really enough to say so. And then I'm using regular high highs, 2 double points. The other thing I worked on a little bit, but not a lot, is the sock out of the Fleece Artist BFL sock. It's BFL with nylon, and this is the stained glass, or I'm sorry, I believe it's cherry swirl socks. You can look on my projects page and you'll see that. So those are cherry swirl socks. It's got a little traveling stitch in there. Try and stay still for a second. And I'm just going to do the foot plain. I did a heel flap and then I'm just doing it plain. Kind of stripes on the heel. This is more black than brown. It's showing up kind of brown, but if I pull it back you can kind of see it's black. So the colors are kind of over the top of the black. I'm using 2 Chiagu US size 1, 2.25 millimeter. I use 2.25 for all of my socks unless there is a different, like if it's a sport weight or something. I haven't worked on any other socks at all. I haven't really worked on much of anything. I did get some spinning done. I had 2 of these and then I added a 3rd this week. So, oops, sorry. Let's try that again. 1, 2, 3. I got 3 very fancy toilet paper rolls of fiber, basically unknown fiber that I bought at the regional market in Syracuse. It's a mix of Finn and a few other breeds of sheep that a woman who produces organic hamburger and lamb, that sort of kind of thing, basically organic meats, is selling these. And so she had a random bag of fiber. I think it was like a pound for $11 or something, and I thought that would help me with my spinning skills. This is the first one I did, and you can see it's kind of bulky and lumpy. There we go. And these 2 are later on. You can see they get a little bit finer, and so I'm hoping that I can ply those together. I want to do a 2-ply. I still have more of that bag to go. I think I have a 1/3 of it left, so it's quite a bit of yardage. The spindle I'm using for this is this Focus, which is a Louette top whirl spindle. It's a 3-ounce spindle and it spins fairly well. It spins for a really long time because the whirl is so big. So that's about it. Other than I finished, it showed you the hat for the Christmas at Sea project. I still have to tuck in the ends. That's done. And then last weekend I finished the scarf, which is like this. And basically you put it around your neck and thus and so. So the ribbing draws it in at the neck so it's not bulky at the neck, but it's the same number of stitches and you use the same needle throughout. So that's out of Lion Brand Woolies in the Pines print colorway. So that's about it for this week. If you guys are interested in anything I'm working on, like I said, go over to the projects page and look. If you're interested in talking about what you're starting to make for the holidays, I'll start a thread like that in the group. And please feel free to join the group, post pictures of what projects you're working on, what yarn you're spinning, if you're crocheting, weaving something, rug hooking, whatever. Because it's really interesting for me to see other people's stuff. I've enjoyed seeing everybody's Rhinebeck purchases on the other podcasts. But like I said, I'm trying to use up some of mine so that hopefully when I go back next year, I won't have yarn that's, 3 or 4 years old going, oh, what am I going to do with this? So that's the idea. So have a great week and go knit something.